Welcome to the BroTalk, the most randomic podcast with subjects to make you think. My name is Augusto,
And my name is Marcus.
and today, on take 3,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about
Social identity, social acceptance, and things like
group
that.
identity.
Yeah. group
Just to keep going on last episode's topic, which was society.
Exactly.
Okay, so, we begin talking about... You even forgot the question.
I forgot the question. Why?
Have you?
No, I don't think so. Why do we humans need social acceptance?
Because I forgot the answer. Great! But we're not going to cut to a fourth take. So we'll just improvise from here. Well, because we live in society, so we tend to do things to be accepted by others,
Yeah.
by
Sure.
our significant ones and by our not significant ones. Even for people we hate, especially people we hate, want to be accepted.
And that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Of course it is.
People we hate, maybe people that hate us, and we want to be accepted by those people.
Yes,
Why we just don't give a fuck?
because I think it's in the human nature not to be, mild,
Alright.
to
So,
be average. Because if you stop to talk to anyone, nobody wants to be average. There was
but nobody wants to do what needs to do to
be done.
not to be average.
That's right. And the real thing is that would take people out of this average level, they don't do it. They do anything to be accepted, but the things that should really have been done to really make a difference in the world. For example, I once saw a poll, right? A survey. I don't remember if it was the US. I think it was in US. If people consider that they are better drivers than the average.
Alright.
The answer was that the average thinks that they are better drivers than the average. Doesn't that make everyone average?
Well, yeah.
Or if we take, for example, the hipster style, right?
Alright.
All of a sudden, everybody wanted to be hipster, to be different. And then all of a sudden, being a hipster was the average.
Sure, because everyone wants to be part of that group. So,
But
yeah.
how many Elon Musks are there in the world?
Well, that's not
The
average.
guys that really did things to make a difference.
Well,
there's an entire...
That's way beyond average, but
That's right. So either you're average or doing something completely different. Bezos, Elon Musk,
or you are below average, which is
below average.
yeah. What would be below average?
Well, I can't remember anyone who's below average.
Yeah.
But there
Neither
are.
do I.
Because let's say the average is the 9 to 5 job kind of person, right?
Yeah.
I go to work, I pay my bills, maybe I study, maybe I don't. That's the average. The guy that doesn't do anything for anything, he's below average.
Sure.
He's not even doing what's average.
Right.
That's below.
No, I got it, but I can't think of something concrete.
Please.
No, I can't.
I think that's it. That's the below average person.
Yeah, that is, but I don't think I recall someone. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well,
That's because there are so many average people. And you have the ones that stand out are the ones that are above average.
sure.
So the guys that are below average, they are just flying below the radar. You can't see.
Yeah, probably. Because we don't just want to see people that are high. So, sure.
Who wants to be below average?
No one, probably.
No one. That's right.
Well, and man, I would like just to know how it would be to get to a level as Elon Musk or maybe Bill Gates.
I don't think I would.
I don't know, man. They
Because,
must, at least they must be driven to do that.
of course,
So
you
I
don't
think
need,
that's insane.
of course, you don't need to be a billionaire to be above average. Right?
Sure.
I think if you make a difference in your circle, right, in a smaller circle, a difference in your family, you already are above average.
Sure.
No?
For sure.
If you escape the fate that sometimes burdens families, you already are above average. Because when a family has this, as I said, this fate to do something, to be something, to be like something, the neighborhood tends to be like that. And that region of your city tends to be like that. That the whole city tends to be like that.
Well, yeah.
Entire community thinks the same. So as you stand up, you're already standing out. Sometimes, for example, going abroad,
Sure.
I just want to live abroad, get a better job, not just being abroad, just another city, going to a capital city, or fleeing from the capital, going rural. No,
Sure.
you already are above average.
Probably.
It's not that difficult. If you have the drive to do something, the strong will to do something different, you already are above this line.
All right. But now going back to this bubble of acceptance, let's talk a little bit about this. There's bubbles of acceptance in everywhere in society, on
Yes.
kids, things, on scientific work that we don't call bubbles, we call ivory towers, isn't it? Good expression for you guys.
Didn't know that one. Didn't know that one.
When people create a graduated bubble, it's called ivory tower. That's
New
kind of
expression.
yeah, that's the reason.
Living and learning, folks. Living and learning.
I think that's American, by the way.
Shitty expression. Hate it.
All right, but it works. And well, why would we create bubbles on scientific works, for example? Because
Ego.
you know, yeah, I was gonna say that.
Freaking ego.
Because back to Aristotle's, when philosophy started, let's say started a long time ago,
Way back in the beginning.
the
Genesis kind of stuff.
the idea of debate was to find a solution, a conclusion to a problem.
That's right.
Now the idea to a fucking debate is prove that I am right.
And you were wrong.
Yeah,
Even though I need to attack you as a person.
exactly.
Fuck you and your morals and your feelings and your family and your freaking mother. I must be right even though I have to call you names.
Yeah, sure.
That's the problem of
That's-
today's debate.
That's the problem. And every single debate, not only scientific, but politics and everything
Especially
else.
the politics.
Yeah, especially, but I don't think we're gonna enter on this discussion because
Please no.
it's politics.
Please, we won't.
Maybe even, I don't know, music, everything.
Of
Because
course,
we need to
especially
create bubbles.
music, because I'm from the rock and roll heavy metal groups, and boy, those guys, they suck. I went
Wait.
to some,
Also,
some hanging out, right? Some small shows on motor clubs and everything. And sometimes you see some guys, the most extreme ones. Let's say if they see you wearing a shirt from a band, they'll say, "Hey, tell me all the albums from this band. What's the name of the singer?" the lead guitarist. If you didn't know, they would rip your shirt off out of you
Shit.
and beat your ass.
Come on.
Like 10 guys.
What the fuck?
Because they're just annoying. And yes, you get to this extreme. And it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Come on, I didn't know that.
There are this type of guys, as there are type of guys doing that in politics. That's why I don't discuss politics.
Well, but extremes is something that's really normal in every part of society. But some of them are more...
And remember bubbles?
Yeah.
People tend to go extreme because it's easier to get inside that bubble of acceptance as you're extreme.
Sure.
Because if you're extreme, you kind of agree with everyone and things like that. So you're accepted. You become sort of a public figure.
Yeah, that's
So-
shitty.
To every extreme.
There was an experiment I saw once. There was 10 guys in a room. 9 of them were paid actors. And there enters a teacher or something and asks them questions. And everyone answers the questions wrong, purposely. And the last guy, she was like, well, I think it's wrong, but if everyone is saying otherwise, I'm gonna answer it otherwise.
This is Manet principle. I don't recall.
Yeah, it is, but
Is it?
it's also about being part of a bubble, isn't it?
That's right. And I saw one once that was, a dentist office. You were in the waiting room, and there are something like that, few actors, and then a real patient. And as they heard a sign, a beep, everyone stood up. Then they sit down. They sat back down, and then it repeated. And suddenly the real patients started standing up and sitting down. And as real patients came in, they were kind of rotating. And then the actors were leaving. And came to a point that there were no more actors inside the waiting room. And everybody was standing up and sitting down.
Oh, shit.
As they heard the sign.
That must be...
Manet
weird.
effect, remember the name?
That must be weird as fuck.
No?
Come on.
A bubble.
Yeah, a bubble.
Manet effect.
We want to be part of it.
You create a case, right? You create chaos. You make a scene, and then everyone follows you.
And how do you create your only identity with a word like this?
Self-knowledge.
Well, but that's the fucking problem. It is
Because
self-knowledge, but
It
how do we get
hurts.
there?
It's long-lasting. It takes a lot of time and effort. It's really difficult. I think if we talk about spirituality a little bit here, the main reason why we are born on this mud ball we call Earth, right, we call planet, is to acquire consciousness, self-knowledge.
Alright.
So, yeah. And the problem is most people are trying to put themselves back to sleep, to not acquire self-knowledge because it's easier to just manate.
Yeah, well, I think that people not even know this word anymore, self-knowledge. Maybe it is group knowledge, social knowledge.
I think it's even worse. People know about self-knowledge, but it is sold in such a horrible way. People are selling weekend courses on self-knowledge, and hey, you know yourself now. Great. No, you don't. You didn't even start.
Man, it take years to know yourself.
It takes lives to know yourself. That's the thing. But people are so lazy to do that they don't know themselves. I was giving a class, a Reiki class, and there was this girl. She was taking the course with me, and I talked about self-knowledge, and she was telling, "No, I think I know myself pretty well," and I just turned to her and said, "No, you don't." And you see from now on, because it has this property to wake people up. And she went days without even looking at her phone. I even thought she was mad at me.
Shit.
I was lucky that I have a friend that works with her. I talked to him, and he went to her and asked her to reply to me. And she said, "Well, I'm not angry with you, but it's remember you thought about self-knowledge. I really thought I knew myself well, and I just realized I don't know anything about myself.
Yeah.
And I can't deal with it. I'm struggling to deal with it. I'm trying to get to know myself just a little bit because I don't know anything about myself."
That's kind of crazy.
And it is. And each day, each new thing you learn, it sparks that, shines a light. That, hey, who the fuck are you?
Well, I think I was talking to a friend about something. We were talking about war and traumas.
Right.
Because
We have an episode on that.
yeah, we had. I don't know if I talked to you about this on that episode, but I think it fits on this explanation.
Please.
Because most of the traumas of soldiers that come back from war, they are not because of something they seen. They are because of something they have done. And they
That's right.
abhor it and they thought they could not possibly do that. So, doesn't it fit on self-knowledge?
What the hell am I?
Yeah.
What the hell am I capable of doing?
They get all spooky because they didn't know they could
could
get to
do
that
that.
point.
But it's manate effect. Everyone's doing that. You have to do that.
Yeah, it is.
But it comes to a point where you can't draw the line anymore to you and the animal you become. And then you realize that only when war is over, when you're back home and you sit on your sofa and say, fuck.
Yeah.
That's the point, because when you at it, I think it's a complicated situation because, it's kill or be killed.
Yeah, it's not a normal situation.
You don't have an option. But it comes when people start being cruel to their enemies, to civilians,
Yeah.
and then that kicks in. Oh boy,
Well,
what the
but
hell am I doing?
yeah, but what I meant is, it's in you somehow.
Yes,
Somehow it
it's
is.
that. Well,
It's your animal.
if you get, World War II, you see what is the human being capable of doing. Take Dr. Mengele.
Yeah, sure.
The only thing he needed was someone to say, go and do it. And then the craze began.
Yeah, sure.
All he needed, and everyone involved in that insanity was Nazi Germany, was someone to say, go on, I allow it.
Then everyone got screwed.
So I think it's kinda inside ourselves, but it has to be fed. Like, there's this Chinese proverb: you have two wolves inside of you, a black and a white wolf, right? And the one who wins is the one that you feed. So we have it. Of course,
Sure.
we have it inside of us. We have a Hitler inside of us, but we also have a Gandhi, a Mother Teresa inside of us, which we are going to feed. And they're constantly beating up each other.
Yeah, the devil and the angel.
The devil and the angel.
Sure. Well, man, that's interesting.
And it's self-knowledge. To acknowledge you have those. You have to not only fight them, but put them to talk because they have to agree on something. To come to peace.
Work together. Let's say.
So then, and only then, you start to move forward in life.
Well, how much time would it take? 20 years?
Lives. That's the point. Lives.
Yes. I think it doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't.
If you are 97 years old, dying, you're still learning things about yourself.
Well, you can get those experiments where they go to, resting houses, right?
Resting houses.
Yes, I don't know if that's the correct name. Where they put old people to live. I forgot that.
Oh, okay.
It's not an asylum. Asylum is for crazy people.
Yeah, asylum for crazy people.
I don't remember the proper name.
Oh, don't worry.
But you can't. You have those things, those interviews where they ask those elderly people what were their regrets, and they have many regrets because one life is not enough.
Yeah. Well.
Some of them are just saying I love you once more to my wife or my son, daughter. Is their biggest regret.
It's kind of bad, but I really think we should not think like that. With a lot of regrets. I think we should think like I did what I could with the knowledge I had back there.
But that's the point. That's self-knowledge.
Because you get to know even more.
It's painful to acknowledge that. It was the best I could do. Good. What will I do now? Now I know that was my best. What should my best be now? What's my best today?
Well, thinking like that, it's kind of worse.
Yes, because self-knowledge, it's painful, takes time and effort.
Yeah, and it's way easier to blame other people for things you couldn't do. And
of course, I'm in this and that situation because of the government, because of the war, because anything but myself.
Exactly.
I can't be blamed. I'm in this situation because that one person screwed me 27 years ago.
Oh my god, 27 years ago and we're still
suffering because of it.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Go forward.
Go forward in life, and that's the problem. Remember, we were talking about a friend of ours I'm training with.
Yeah, sure.
Right. What did they say about him? I really thought he was 24 max, but he's actually 30. Why? He doesn't grow up. He knows nothing about himself. Maturity comes with self-knowledge.
Sure.
People encase themselves in such a hard shell to protect themselves from the outside world that they stop growing inside.
Yeah.
You know lobsters, right?
Sure do.
You know how they grow.
Kinda.
They grow this exoskeleton, their shell, right? And they start growing and growing and growing, and the shell gets too tight. They have to break that shell to create another shell, and they grow and grow. If you don't break that shell and get out, they'll die eventually.
Shit.
It's the same as what these people do. It's easier to be in a group. I don't need to have my own opinions. I'm the people get so blind because of this group identity. They don't have their opinions anymore. I remember there is a video on Jordan Peterson.
All right.
It's entitled "The Video That Made Jordan Peterson Famous."
Okay.
It's a group of people. They are just pointing fingers on him on college doors, right? And demanding him answers of things he disagrees. And then it gets to a point he says, right, that's your group identity. What do you think? No, that's what I know. That's what the group thinks. I want to know what you think. And the girl didn't have an answer. She truly believed that thought, those thoughts, that anger was hers. But actually, she didn't know what she thought about it. She just threw up some blast of insanity. It was her groups. And everyone in the group thought the same things, had the same opinion. How come do we have the same opinion as 100 people?
Yeah, that's the thing of the easy way. It's very hard to think, man. It takes a lot of learning. It takes not a lot of learning, depending on the subject, of course, but a lot of experience. Effort. Exactly. That's the thing.
I don't want to brag on the thing. It will sound like, but it's not really. But it's not. There aren't many people that can do what we do, to sit, take a subject, shred it to pieces, to understand it, to kind of do a sort of reverse engineering on a subject, to understand and formulate our own opinions about it.
Well, that's because people don't know how to learn. They just copy what other people say.
Or they don't know how to formulate an opinion.
Same thing.
They have this group opinion. And sometimes their group makes them think they're special, that their opinion is unique. But no, they have 10,000 other people, like the driving skill dilemma. Everyone thinks they're above average.
Oh yeah.
But if everyone's above average, that's the fucking average.
Come on, man.
It's insane.
Well, it's easy to be a robot, and I think that most people, 95% of them, don't even know they are just one
puppets.
More. Yeah.
They're just puppets.
And that's the problem. They don't even know they didn't get out of Matrix yet.
We have those fake gurus on the internet.
Fake gurus.
In every area we have one. What's the first thing they tell people? You are special. You are above average. And then you are listening to this, that you are above average, with 1,000 other people in the same room. Listen, they're special. How? How can you be special?
Yeah.
You're just one more. You're a number.
This is why I like David Goggins.
You're money in someone's pocket.
I prefer 100% the way that David Goggins says it.
Please.
You can be something else, but you have to do the job, man. You have to bleed to get there. Now you're just an average. That's basically it. That's not what he says, but that's basically it.
It sums up.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. You can't do it, but do you have the guts to get there?
Man, we don't have the guts to have our own opinion.
That's right.
How could we be above average?
If you think something just a little bit out of the box, you're crucified by your family, by your friends, by everyone.
Man, I see people nowadays, teenagers especially, if one people criticize him, man, they're gonna say the other day the next day, they're gonna have a completely different opinion just to be part of the bubble.
That's right.
Maybe they're gonna say, "I'm so sorry
think-
for that. I didn't mean it."
I think it's because I think there's a psychological and even neurological thing going on with teenagers, because it's the rupture, right? When you're a kid, what you envision, it's your parents,
Sure.
your mother, your father. Then you grow and you formulate your own identity. By this point, you say, hey, I'm not my parents. What am I?
I don't know.
Then the closest you have is your friends, your school friends. And the bubbles start to begin because you don't know who you are. So you try hopping, bubble to bubble to bubble to bubble. And some bubbles are so good because many times they have a grown-up person pulling the strings. So the poor teenagers think they're part of some because they have a grown-up person, an adult, taking care of them. And this guy could be a teacher or a leader.
Yeah, sure.
And, this guy is God. And then they rip you out of your parents, and throw you inside this bubble, and then you're just a number. Think you're a big something, a part of a movement, a part of something big, but you're just a number.
Right. Or I don't know what that is. But oh yeah.
A big
Well, that's something interesting. People want to be part of something bigger.
That's right. Be above average.
Well, but I think that now it's prone to politics most of the time.
Not only that, it applies to everything.
It applies to everything, but it seems that most of them are prone to politics, unfortunately.
Because we have that thinking, little people talk about politics. A few people, talk about politics. And if I talk about politics, I am above average.
Well,
Teenagers are usually drawn to music, to anything but politics. You're starting developing your taste, so you want to know music, you want to know clothing, you want to know girls or boys.
sure.
Is the last subject on the list is politics. And then you start, and politics is it's a trendy topic. It became the trendiest topic to say that. And I think I just made up another word, but that's it, right?
Yeah.
And then, I want to be trendy. But I want to be different. It's that, that
No,
internal
I get
fight.
it. I get it.
Because
but-
it's trendy, everybody does that, but at the same time, you want to believe that nobody talks about that. Because
get
maybe your immediates don't talk about that. Your closest friends or family don't really spend time talking about it, so they think they're simply ignorant about it, and then you get inside the bubble. With a stupid grown-up person wanting to pull your strings and make you become just a more number. Sometimes a freaking soldier on the private war. And sometimes literally die because of them.
Well,
But you think you're above average with a million other followers. Average.
well, you are not, but the people that are controlling the puppets, they are above average.
Are they?
Some of them because they know how to control people.
But they're puppets of someone else.
But the guy that's on the top is fucking awesome. In a bad way, maybe because he knows how to control the masses.
Why is he doing that? because he wants to be different. He thinks he's the same. He thinks he's average.
Well,
If you never have enough, it implies you're just average. I'm just like everybody else. I want to be different. And then you keep going and going and going until you reach the top. And then you have the other ones that are on the top alongside you and you become average.
well,
You can't escape average. You know?
you can't. Yeah.
You should try and stand out among your immediates. No? You live, let's say, the most common example we have here, at least here in Brazil. You live in a poor town and your parents are bricklayers or rural workers. And then you go and become a doctor, a lawyer, a judge. You stood out. You did it. You're not average anymore. You did it. You might be an average doctor, an average lawyer, an average judge. But you stood out. And people who really saw that. And that's important.
Sure.
Not just some rich son of a bitch that want to make you become a number.
Well, one other thing that I want to add is that let's go back to World War One and Two.
Right.
I think that was one of the periods where we improved a lot our knowledge of psychology, because there was a big need for we to understand about marketing, political agendas, and psychology of people, so we could control the masses. Yeah, especially on Germany and
Mass
USSR.
hypnosis.
Yeah. So I think that people still study this for politics.
Yes, because it works.
Not
It still works.
Yeah, not in a way that's too bad as Nazi Germany. That's not what I mean, but
Psychology in general.
yeah, psychology.
Human psychology is the same.
Because I think that was the peak of human psychology.
Well, you see that, let's take this nowadays war, right? Ukraine and Russia.
They still use this information.
There are Russian people that agree that they need to invade Ukraine. You know, specialists, I sent you the podcast where the specialist debate.
Yeah, man, I didn't see yet, but I will.
The most recent one. They're talking about Vladimir Putin. He wrote a kind of Mein Kampf. You know, the book Hitler wrote in prison.
Yeah.
It was a sort of Mein Kampf he wrote. Because he compares and he goes around and turns out he's saying Ukrainian people are Nazi. So that's why they should vanish with them. Be gone. Nazis come. Something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And people believe it.
Well, yeah. And
That's horrible. People believe it.
that's information. And beyond that,
That's agenda.
yeah. Beyond that, there was information saying that they were going to an exercise, they were going to a drill, and I really think that those people, those Russian soldiers, they are gonna get into a point where they don't see reason to fight anymore
That's why.
because they don't have a reason.
Why am I doing it?
Yeah.
Still, they're afraid because fleeing from war is a war crime. You'll be arrested and you'll probably be killed.
Yeah. No, for sure. You're gonna be fucked if you flee, especially from Russia, because
Especially from nowadays USSR. Because
Yeah.
that's it. USSR.
well, they are trying to expand again. So yeah, that's
New Stalin.
basically the same thing.
I think not so communist, but it's the same thing.
Kind of.
The same agenda.
Yeah, we're getting into the war again. But that was a nice subject.
Yeah. Well, and
I think that's it for
I
today.
think that's it, but let's just try to finish up.
Alright.
You know the Oracle of Delphos. It's a Greek
Oracle of
the
Delphos.
Oracle of Delphos.
No,
It's
I
a
don't.
Greek temple, right? We'll have the oracles. It's the temple of Apollo,
Alright.
god of the sun. He's the patron of the oracles. We had those gases, and I forgot the name of the virgins who inhaled the gases, and they became the oracles, and they predict futures and everything.
Right.
It's the Oracle of Delphos. And you had the same on the portal to enter the Oracle. Know thyself, and you know the gods and the universe. So, today the lesson is know thyself. Know yourself. Get to know yourself. From basic things, I'm going to put you an exercise. Do you like the music you listen, or were educated to like it? Do you like the food you eat, or were educated to like it? What's the ratio of you being a Brazilian and liking Brazilian food or liking Japanese food, and vice versa? What's the ratio of being a Japanese person liking Japanese food or Brazilian food?
Interesting.
Does the music you listen reflect your culture? Does it reflect where you live? Does it reflect your emotions? What is it? Why do you listen to what you listen? Why, when you have some specific mood, you want to listen to a specific music, and when you get another mood, a mood swing, you want to listen to something else? Why do you like what you like? Do you know? No, you don't. You can't say you do, but you don't. This is just the beginning. I couldn't say even the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip of the tip of the tip of the tip. It's the first atom on the top of the iceberg. It's just that.
But that's a beginning. So
It's a beginning. You should begin somewhere.
start doing that.
Start doing it. And have an internal crisis. Because you will.
That's normal.
And it's good. And start questioning. I've recently abandoned social media.
I got to know that.
Recently did that. I don't even have the apps inside my phone anymore. I still have the accounts, didn't delete them because probably I'm going back someday. But for now, just abandon them. It wasn't doing me just any good. In fact, it was getting me behind. I'm not saying something superior because of it. No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm below average at this point. But it was bad for me. And the best thing I could have ever done was that I realized how much time I was spending. I was going to waste social media. How much energy I was spending, scrolling a fucking feed designed to make me a slave of it. People walking on life support, which is their phones. Who can't leave their house without their phone? What if someone texts me? What if someone tags me on something? What if I want to, make a story out of it?
Yeah.
To record a new
That's something to think about.
trendy TikTok dance. How can I possibly leave my phone at home? So for a while, I just left it behind. You want to follow me? Follow me on Instagram. I don't care. It's still there. One day I'm coming back for it. For now, just leave it behind. And there's an exercise.
Get used to live a life without
Not
those
only that, but
technological devices.
do you have enough self-knowledge to understand it's bad for you and have the will, do the effort of getting clean of it?
That's really
It's
interesting.
another exercise.
Sure, it is. It's really interesting.
Start questioning yourself, your daily activities. Why do I do my job? Why do I wake up in the morning? Why do I go to the gym? You know? Why do I want to save money?
Important questions.
And when you start spiraling down on the internal crisis, it means you did the first step. It's just the beginning. You're starting a spiral of internal suffering, which is mandatory for growth. And we will be strong enough to keep it.
Who
Because
knows?
you can always go back.
Sure, you can.
You can always, go back to sleep.
And mind's gonna make you do that if you don't fight against it. Fight against it.
Fight against it. Literally, almost.
Yeah.
It's internal and eternal struggle. So,
Exactly.
so that's it. Know
That's
thyself, and it will hurt a lot on places you didn't even know it could hurt.
But that's gonna be good, don't worry.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's worth
One
it.
day it's worth it.
It's worth every second of pain,
Yeah.
which sometimes will be literal, sometimes will be physical, literal pain. Not going to inflict yourself damage, but putting yourself to a treadmill to pull some arms, physical pain, sometimes necessary. And that's it with another heavy episode because we're getting heavier.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Like metal.
may I? Thank you guys, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check on our Instagrams in the description down below.
And we'll see you on next episode.
See you.